Hello everyone, it's Mrs. Capobianco, and this is part 2 for 1-point perspective, okay? Everyone should have already drawn their half-inch border going around their page, just like this. These lines here that make these little boxes you can erase. The reason I can't erase it is because I did this in Sharpie so that you could see my lines more clearly. I find that the pencil line, it's very light and it doesn't show up as well on this document viewing camera, okay? But in your drawing, you can erase these lines, and if your dots were really big, you can just lightly erase these so that all you have left is your line, okay, going around. You have your X, right? I erased the inside lines here just to show you. You can kind of see a faint shadow of where those lines were because I did do it in pencil, okay? And I have my vanishing point, which I want to leave. Okay, again, you should be working in pencil. Do not work in pen. Do not work in Sharpie. I'm only doing this in Sharpie so that it's easier for you to see in the video. Okay, everyone should have received one of these packets, Getting Started Drawing Your Room, okay? And basically, for the first, few things, we're going to be following this packet again step by step, just like we did in our practice drawings. So on your final drawing, you're going to basically be duplicating these steps, but you're going to be personalizing your room, which means you get to call shots, you get to make choices. You are the designer now, okay? So everyone does need to put in a door, all right? So in this page, it shows you step by step how to draw your door, okay? The door doesn't have to be on the left. The door could be on the right side of the room. The door could be over here. It could be small. It could be small over here. It could be centered. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be placed exactly the way it is here. Okay, so I'm going to change this because I'm the designer, and I'm going to put my door right here. Okay, so if I look in my packet and it says drawing a door, I'm going to follow those same exact steps, except I'm going to put my door over here. And you can follow along and watch as I do that. Okay, so I'm going to first start with my line. I'm going to draw it about up to here. Okay, I don't want it to be touching this line because this line is where the ceiling starts. Okay, and the door is not going to touch the ceiling. There's going to be a little room. Okay, so there's my first line. Then I'm going to be drawing a line from the top of my door to the vanishing point. And I am going to do this in pencil because otherwise I won't be able to erase the parts that I need to erase, and it's going to look really messy once I start drawing here in my example. Okay, so I'm going to line up the top of the door with the vanishing point. And I'm going to draw a line. Okay, so I hope that you can see that. It's not as clear. Okay, but once we figure out where our door ends, this part I'm going to erase, but not yet. Okay, so if I look at my packet, the next step is we need to figure out how far over, how wide the door is. So I'm going to take my T-square again. I'm going to line up my paper. Make sure this is nice and straight. Okay, the document viewer here, it might look a little bit warped. Okay, but this is straight on my paper on my desk. Okay, so I don't want the door to be too wide. Okay, I'm going to make it about here. Okay, and this part I'm actually going to do in the Sharpie just to show you so it's a little bit more clear. Okay. And this part here, I'm just going to outline in Sharpie so you could see more clearly. And that's where my door is. The line that you're going to erase once you have this is the line that's right here and the line that's right here. But you want to make sure that you keep your vanishing point. Make sure you don't erase that. Okay? Also make sure you're not erasing these lines here. We want to keep those. So if I look at my door, the next step is I want to draw a frame going around the door. Okay? And I don't want to make this too big, the door frame. Okay? So I'm going to do this in pencil. And then I'm going to outline it in Sharpie so it's easier to see. So let me outline this in Sharpie so you can see it more clearly. And I'll show you which part is getting erased. So the part I did in Sharpie we're keeping. The part that you are erasing is here and here. Okay, so be careful not to make these lines too dark. Again, I'm making them a little bit darker so that you could see. Okay, but ultimately, these lines we should be doing lightly because eventually we're going to go in and color this whole design. All right, so you don't want to be erasing that much. Right, so now you need to decide where your doorknob is, whether it's going to be on the left or the right. That's up to you. Okay, in our packet, it looks like the doorknob is on the right, so I'm just going to put a dot right here and make the doorknob on the right. And I'm making that a little bit bigger just so that you could see. And if I look, the next step is to put a window in my door. Okay, you don't have to put a window. If you want, you could make it a poster, which I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So I'm just following the steps that are in my packet. Okay, I'm going to connect the top part of my poster with the vanishing point and the bottom part of my poster with my vanishing point. And then I'm going to square it off here. And it's going to be just kind of right above my doorknob. Okay, so again, that might be a little hard to see. I'm going to outline it in Sharpie so it's easier for you to see. Okay, again, do not freehand draw this. I'm only going over it in the Sharpie freehand so that you could see more clearly and so I can erase these lines to show you which ones you're keeping, which ones you're not. Okay, and there we have it. There is my door. You can move on to the next video to see the next step.